We listen and we don't judge. When I was in elementary school, I was invited to a birthday party, and at this pool party, there were of course a bunch of kids who were not nice to me. They actually bullied me in elementary school and then grew up to be my high school bullies too. And at the pool party, there was one of those swing sets that had a full-blown slide. It had a rock wall with no rope, which is important to note. And as I was trying to go down the slide, two of my bullies decided to block the slide and tell me I was not allowed to go down it. One of the bullies went down the slide, and the other one was leaning out of the rock wall to watch him get to the bottom. And as he was leaning his little evil head out of the rock wall, I decided to give him a little love tap. I kicked this boy out of the jungle gym where he plummeted to the rocks below, and I did not feel bad about it. Then all the parents ran over to help him because he was like screaming and crying. He was totally fine, like nothing broken. He was fine. And they looked up at me because now I'm peeking out of the rock wall, and they're like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "He fell." We listen and we don't judge. When I was a server at a semi-popular wing restaurant that I'm surprised isn't out of business yet, I had a very specific way of dealing with mean and nasty restaurant goers. I would take their order, and depending on what their order was, if it was a burger or wings and it came with fries, I would create a fry discard pile where I would take one of the little boats and I would put it to the side of the expo line where they give you the food. And whenever the orders were ready for the tables that were being nasty to me, I would take some of their fries and put it into the discard pile so that when they got their meal, they were getting way less fries than they were supposed to. We listen and we don't judge. When I was in college, I wouldn't say I was like a klepto, but sometimes I would just take things like glasses from restaurants or signs from restaurants. But one day I was leaving my college town bar, and right across the street from the bars were the pizza places. And to be honest, I was so hammered that I walked into this pizza place and I was so hungry, but the line was so long. But as soon as you walked in, there was also a window which looked like where they would do takeout. It was closed. However, the window was open. I look in the window and I see a bowl of something. I don't know what it is because it's so dark and I'm also hammered. I reached into that window, snatched the bowl, and ran out. I looked down in the bowl to find out that I stole an entire bowl of just flour. We listen and we don't judge. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this one. A few years ago in college, I had a group of friends that I considered my best friends, but you know how college is. You cycle out of friend groups every single year. There's one person in particular that I was closer with than the rest of the group. We hung out all the time. We would go to the dining hall together, etc., etc. But as time went on and our friendship went on, I could start to feel like this person was not my best friend, but they were an enemy. They were my biggest op, and they were secretly preying on my downfall. So one day I really started to feel like this, and they actually ended up giving me their phone to hold so they could go do something. I forgot what it was. And I had the password to their phone. Like, that's how close we were. You can call this toxic, but I call it strategic. I opened their phone and I went to their text messages and I searched my name. And I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but what I came to find was that this person that I considered my best friend was talking horribly about me to so many people in various group chats or single messages. Not only that, the entire friend group that I was a part of popped up in one of those messages where I was not a part of the message. They were talking negatively about the way I looked, and I was going through an ED at the time. Stuff about like internships I was getting was popping up. I just saw my name after name after name, and you guys could think this is toxic, but I call it research, and I took notes and I acted accordingly. After that day, I never saw those people again. We listen and we don't judge.